This video will demonstrate the alternating cable cast on. This cuff here shows you the alternating cable cast on with the alternating cable bind off. I'm going to do this on magic loop. So I'm going to start here with a slip knot. And when you're doing the alternating cable cast on, it is a knitted cast on. So you do not need a long tail, just one long enough to weave in. And I'm not going to do any special tricks for jogless rounds or joining in the round, because I just want to teach at this point the new cast on and bind off if those are new to you, and then you can choose to layer your techniques after that. So start with a slip knot on your needle, and because this is a knitted cast on, we're going to pick up our working needle in our right hand, and the slip knot will be on your left hand needle. I hold my tail to the front and my working yarn to the back. And for the first stitch, I am just going to knit into this slip knot. So your slip knot is going to count as a stitch, and it's going to count as a purl stitch. You can think of it like it has the little bump for the slip knot. Think of that as your purl bump. You're going to insert your needle knitwise, left to right and front to back, and knit the first stitch. When you pull it back through, you're not going to take this off the needle. You're going to take this new stitch on your right hand needle and mount it knitwise on the left hand needle. So your left hand needle is going to go into that hole knitwise and pass it over. Now, if you'd like, you can tighten it up a little bit once it's on there. Don't pull it too tight, but you can snug it up just a little bit. You want to leave enough breathing room though, because what you're going to be doing is going in between these two stitches for each new stitch that you cast on. So I've cast on a purl and a knit. And when I'm alternating, that means my next stitch needs to be a purl. So I am going to take my working yarn to the front as you would for a purl stitch. My right hand needle is going to come between these two stitches on the left hand needle from back to front. I am going to purl and pull that stitch back through to the back of my work. And I'm going to again mount it knitwise. So there's a little twist there when you put it up on the needle. Now you will see people do it with and without the twist, and that is fine. It is just a different way to do it. It will create a little bit of a different mount for your stitch and look. There are many ways to do things. Different instructors and different knitters will use what works for them. So it's now time for a knit stitch. That means my yarn goes to the back of the work, and I come between the next two stitches on my left hand needle from front to back. Between the two stitches, I knit that stitch, pull it through to the front, and again, this is where I mount it by doing this little twist and up on the needle. Snug it up just a bit. So what you'll start to see is some characteristics here that we'll look at in a minute for how to know which is your knit and which is your purl stitch. Another backup way that you can always tell is by simply counting. So purl, knit, purl, knit. That means my next one is a purl. Yarn to the front, purl, so right hand needle between the first two stitches on my left hand needle, wrap it to purl, pull it through to the back, and twist it to mount. Time to knit. My working yarn goes to the back. I go front to back to knit, pull it through, mount it on the left-hand needle. Now let's take a look at what these stitches look like. You'll start to see Slipknot's going to look a little bit different, but then what you're going to start to see is an alternating pattern where you have a stitch to the front and a stitch that looks like it's kind of recessed to the back. And then you're going to have a stitch that kind of crosses diagonally to the front and then another one to the back. And see how that's crossing diagonally? So the ones that are a little bit slanted here are your knit stitches. And the ones that are recessed are your purl stitches. So if you lose track of where you are, the leaning one is a knit stitch. That means it's time to purl. The yarn comes to the front. The needle goes back to front, purl, take it through to the back, and mount it. The other thing that you'll see is, if I was not sure where I was right now, my yarn is to the front. That means that I just purled and I'm going to take it to the back. So you'll keep casting on for the number of stitches here, including the slip knot in your count.